I'm making this video real quick. Long story short, I'm gonna literally try to keep it short. This is about the Switch, NES Classic, and SNES Classic. Nintendo's marketing, whatever it is that they're doing, whatever they call this, is just wrong. It's just wrong. Um, you go back to the American video game industry, crash of 1983. From that, Nintendo emerges and essentially becomes like the OG console. Essentially, they became the giants of the video game industry from that point. You know, so all due respect to them, it's not like I'm like, and Nintendo sucks. Nintendo's go. No, I view Nintendo as like the Godfather in this scenario, and I feel like you got to keep in mind, when I say the Godfather, that might explain why the hell they're just doing whatever and just getting away with whatever, and nobody's changing their habits. Because you got to think, a lot of people grew up on Nintendo. Nintendo wasn't the only console. You had Sega as well, but a lot of people grew up essentially on Nintendo, and the fact that Nintendo's still around, like you have people who grew up playing Game Boy Pocket, and then those people have kids now, and their kids are freaking playing Nintendo DS. It's just like a huge nostalgia trip for these people. You got to think about the marketing for Pokemon. I know we've all seen those commercials where it's showing little kids playing Pokemon, and then it's like slowly but sure, like the age increases to the point where you have adults playing Pokemon, because all it goes to show is like Pokemon is been around for so damn long that there's people's parents who are playing Pokemon. So that just goes to show you how long Nintendo has been in our lives, you know, and how much of an impact they have. But looking at Switch, looking at the NES Classic and the SNES Classic isn't even out yet, but it can be predicted that it's going to have the same exact effect. Nintendo is getting into this thing that they do where we're going to release too few units. So we're not going to, put out enough units for folks to get their hand on it. It's like, what? Like, literally, it's like, what? You notice. Sorry about that. First, it was with the NES Classic. NES Classic came out in 2016. And I thought it was BS then. I was like, why are people getting this when they could just get an emulator on their computer or their phone? They can go get a Raspberry Pi for a fraction of that price and have all these same games and possibly even more. Essentially all the same games. But I realize we live in a consumer world, and we live in a world that's not all completely, technologically advanced. Not everybody understands that. They want convenience, so they just go pick up a little box that reminds them of their childhood. That's why the NES Classic sold, because it's not, the NES Classic isn't for my generation. Not really. It's not for my generation. It's not for kids younger than me. No, they want the newer things. The NES Classic is for the folks that are honestly probably like 10 years older than me. I'm 24 going on 25. NES Classic reminds, folks who are like 35, 40 right now. Those are the folks who are really like, oh my God, I need this. This was their elementary school and high school experience, was playing this console. So this is for them. When that damn NES Classic came out, the damn thing sold like crack. It sold like crack. But the issue with the NES Classic, too few units. Now, keep in mind, it's not like they're selling the NES Classic as a major console release, but you would think for something so simple, they'd have enough consoles. You would think for something so simple, they would have plenty of them. It costs nothing. I know it costs nothing to make that damn console. The technology in that console is outdated as hell. You cannot tell me it costs some stupid amount of money to make that damn thing to the point where we're limiting the supply. What they created was a market full of resellers, scalpers, and things like that. People setting up their damn lawn chairs and camping outside of Best Buys and GameStop and this, that, and the other. To, so they can walk in the store and buy like 3, 4, 5 of them and go flip them on eBay for some stupid price. Like, why? Why? This is Nintendo's fault. Because Nintendo's enabling this behavior. So first is NES Classic. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's not a major console release. If they don't make enough units, it's whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know. Then we get the Switch. Now keep in mind, you actually still had people trying to get the damn NES Classic. Because supposedly, oh, we were going to get a restock on this day, that day, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then you get the Switch. What do they do with the Switch? They release the Switch without a... We have the Switch without enough units. Literally. You had easily a situation where I feel and believe Nintendo could have pushed out enough units for majority of the US population to get their hands on one. And then the folks who didn't get one, let's not make them wait forever and a day to get one. I do not believe that Nintendo did not know what they were doing. I'm 100% sure Nintendo knew exactly what they were doing. Nintendo did this with the Wii. Now, I'm not saying no. Nintendo didn't release too few units with the Wii, but Nintendo's marketing. I mean, Nintendo does not do the typical marketing. Like, their whole business plan and strategy, is very different. The way the Wii blew up was that essentially they kept the Wii out of the whole, they didn't even associate the Wii with serious gaming. The Wii was its own total completely different thing. It was still a video game console, but it wasn't made to compete with the PlayStation or the Xbox 360. It was like, we're going to have this Wii, this family, fun, wholesome console. Grandma can get up and play this damn thing. Everybody can play it. And we're going to also sell it at a reasonable price. But they had introduced that movement technology. Well, that wasn't the first time that technology was there. But it was the first console made pretty much primarily built around that technology. And because it was playable by everybody and enjoyable by the whole family and everything like that, that contributed to it. That's what made it a revolutionary console. And at that point, it was like Nintendo, I feel like they felt like we found the formula. let's just keep making consoles that aren't meant to compete against Sony and Microsoft, yet still some way compete against Sony and Microsoft. We're gonna still stay so low key that what we're doing isn't really questioned a lot. Nobody's gonna expect much. That's why the Wii U fucking was horrible, because Nintendo, I think, thought, we can just throw something out there and people will jump on it like hot. It's like, no, we're moving on. The Wii is the Wii. We're done with the Wii. So the Wii U came out and tanked. The Wii U, like a lot of people, I thought the damn Wii U was like an add-on to the Wii. That was a damn mistake. They didn't market that damn thing well. So folks were like, what the hell's the Wii U? I literally thought the Wii U, I thought it was just an add-on to the Wii. I didn't realize it was a whole nother damn console until it was like coming up to release time. Plus they had no actual real true games with the damn thing. That's what killed it. So they had to make the Switch, but I feel like the Switch was already being made, and I feel like they just felt like they had to throw something out to keep up. So that was the Wii U. Switch, once again, another console that's not necessarily made to compete against the PS4 or the Xbox One. Because we know the technology in that damn Switch is nowhere on the same... it's not even close to those two. But what they did, they was like, we've essentially monopolized. We're killing. They haven't monopolized it, but nobody can mess with us when it comes to the handheld genre. When it comes to the handheld population, like nobody can mess with Nintendo. No PSP or Vita or any of that is ever gonna come close to Nintendo. So why not? Nintendo's like, why not we just make a console that's essentially somewhat like of a hybrid? Here comes the Switch. You can play it on your big screen, and then you can go handheld with it. And they're able to do that without necessarily... Still, right now, it's like, I do not consider the Switch direct competition to the PS4 and to the Xbox One, even though it is in the weird way. Like, Nintendo, they pulled that off. But, like I said, I do not like how Nintendo is going about with a lot of other things. With this, let's put too few units out there in rotation and make our console look like it's so amazing, it's sold out everywhere. And we're going to make you wait a while before we put more out. And by then, you're just enabling resellers and scalpers to get rich. Because you got folks, like I said, they had folks lining up outside. They were snatching up all the NES classics and they flip them on eBay for triple, quadruple the price. And then you have people out there who are paying that price. That's what's making this possible. You have people over there snatching up the Switch. And the thing with that was, I don't think people knew that the Switch would be so damn limited in a sense. I don't think the Switch came... I don't think folks were like, well, there's only going to be so many Switches in stock. I don't think that was the case. I think the Switch came out and then it was like, wait, y'all ain't got none? Like, people were, expecting to be able to walk in days later and still get one. But Breath of the Wild? Oh, wait. You got this new Zelda game coming out? That looks fucking ridiculously amazing? That is what made the Switch skyrocket. People were going to get the Switch. But the moment Nintendo was like, release day, Breath of the Wild will be available with the console, that damn thing took off. But even then, I don't think people were like, they're gonna be too few consoles. People were like, oh wait, damn, I can get the Switch and the new Zelda game? people weren't sitting there like, oh wait, what the fuck? Like, there ain't no more consoles in like a 100-mile radius. Like, are you serious? Like, you joking, right? Once they realized that, once people picked, and like I said, resellers and scalpers, they pay attention to that. They walk into the store, they're like, oh, how many units y'all got? Those are the questions they ask. They find out, a couple days in advance. They're peeping out the scene. They're like, okay, this Best Buy only has like 15 of them. GameStop only got like 5 of them. That's interesting. And we're talking about like not including pre-orders or whatever. But just imagine if you did pre-orders and only had 15 in stock. What? So you're telling me the first 15 people are the only ones getting the damn console? Or the first 15 people to pay in full are the only ones getting a console? Nintendo created that type of situation, and it's not healthy and it's not okay. Because like I said, there are some stores that don't put those limitations. There's some stores you can walk in there and you can buy as many as you can pay for. So if I can walk in a store and buy all of your units, guess what? I'm about to profit. Because there's going to be a lot of folks in that area, and there's going to be a lot of folks in my town who want that console, who will be willing to pay 150, 200 over retail for it. Nintendo, why did y'all create that situation? I don't understand. Who does that? Why would you create that situation? I don't get it. The SNES Classic is going to be the same damn situation. Because we had the NES, limited as hell. Switch came out, limited. We're discontinuing the NES Classic. So, the NES Classic that was already damn near impossible to get and was already double, quadruple, triple the price. Oh, you're discontinuing it? Meaning we'll probably never get this again? Those prices, let's say there was an NES Classic sitting on eBay for like $250 or something. The moment that news went out that this was discontinued, that price probably shot up another $100, $200. That's more than a damn PS4. That's what, $450, right? I said $250. I add $200 on it. That's $450. And there's somebody out there, because if that's the market, if that's the trend, if all of them are selling for that amount, and if somebody really wants something, they're gonna pay that price. And it's scary. Human beings, our brain works like that. And it's not okay. It's not okay. Switch. Now we know down the line there's going to be more Switches. We know this. But it shouldn't have been the way it was. It says, like, I think today they were like, oh, the Switch worldwide moved 2.7 million units in the month. And it's like, okay. If I remember correctly, Sony moved, 1 million units in the first day for the PS4? If I remember correctly. I don't remember if they ever actually confirmed that, but I don't think Sony had to lie about that. And Sony also had enough damn units out there. I remember when I pre-ordered, I was still in college when I pre-ordered my PS4. I had the original PS4. I remember that pre-order. I remember lining up. And there was a nice line of people who were able to walk in the store and get their console. I went to school in a small-ish, kind of country-ish town. I wasn't in a big major city. I was in a kind of country, college town. I was in DeKalb, Illinois. They had plenty of PS4s in stock. I'm pretty sure even after all the pre-orders, people, if they want to come in that next day, a couple days later, people were able to get their damn console. and be fine and move on with life. No, Nintendo, we're gonna put out so few of the damn consoles, and then we're gonna start making it seem like our console is so damn amazing. Look how few of them, like, you can't even get the damn thing in stock. We've sold this, that amount, blah, 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 blah. Stop, Nintendo. Like, it's gonna get old quick. It's irritating. It's actually irritating. Because I feel like now you're making. I feel like what Nintendo's now doing is actually making people dislike Nintendo. And they're making people actually pay attention to the marketing and whatever they're doing. Like I said, for the longest, we somewhat ignored Nintendo. Nintendo was always there, but they were just in the background, you know, doing whatever. Now Nintendo's bringing attention to themselves, and I don't think it's a positive. We all know if Nintendo doesn't release Breath of the Wild on release day, that console doesn't sell the way it sells. We all know that. That's that's a damn fact. Breath of the Wild doesn't release the same day. That console does not move like that. Nintendo made the damn thing so damn limited, and it's stupid. It's stupid. Why are you enabling resellers? Why are you enabling scalping of your console? A console that, first of all, ain't that damn amazing. The price, the retail price, honestly, I feel like it's a little bit too high. But because they limited the damn number, it ended up like that. It ended up like that. Everybody went and got the Wii because it was for literally everybody. And it was cheap. It was for everybody and it was cheap. But this ain't the same thing with the Switch. If the Switch don't pan out, because I mean, what you got, Mario coming out, you got a couple other little games coming out. I want to see the Switch a year from now. So we've seen the 1 month sales. We've seen those numbers. I want to see the Switch a whole year from now. After, Mario Kart, all those games have released. I want to see the Switch. I want to see how it's doing. And see if the Switch, I feel like in the long run, it'll do better than the Xbox One. I would hope that it does. Because the Xbox One ain't hot. It's pretty safe to say Sony's won this generation. But I don't know, Nintendo, you guys gotta do better. Like, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. Peace.